Friend, I haven't got time to be shook up. Not when my wife and I are the only ones in the park who can shoot a can off a fence at 10 foot. I'm not even kidding. We held tryouts. Sure thing this is wicked strange, but it's just a real bad day in our new normality. A different kind of survivalism. Back in the day, I said to old Joe, I think I've seen something from the stories out there. He says, yup. I tell him, I thought they were just stories. And he gives me one of those looks from over his glasses. If I told you a story about land across the ocean from the island, would you believe that? I say, sure I would, I've seen it. Oh, he likes that, gets his big old grin on. He says, well, Paul, now you've seen the Wendigo too. Well, we never really had any trouble with your type on the hunts. Maybe some get a little too keen about waving their fancy swords around instead of a good rifle. I'd tell them, these creatures can take a high-caliber bullet on the skull like you'd slugged a rock at them. So are you positive you want to get up close? There was one guy, though, wanted to blood himself from a Wendigo. That's what he said, and I looked at Annika thinking, this is not gonna fly. She told him, no way, no how. Maybe he didn't know the legends like we did, but you don't want to be getting Wendigo in you. He kicked off over that, so we wheeled the truck around, took him back to the airport so fast he hardly had time to pack his little photocopied pamphlets. Like you see on television, what are they called, the morning light? Guess those Moonies are soft in the head after all. I'm not much of a deep thinker. Working in the outdoors, it pays to be more concerned with what's happening than the why. But when the world went all to hell, sure I had to do some considering. Perhaps the reason we ran across those beasts when we did was a sign. It seems animals are the first to know when there's a big change coming. And perhaps I should have known it then. I just sensed it. Like at the end of fall when you know a hard freeze is coming on overnight. And there's always been stories. And not just old Joe's, the townies bring their own too. And there's a Kingsmith explanation for all the good and bad in the world. Mostly the bad. Hell, I've told college kids a horror story or two about the old trapper cabin to keep them out of it. When the fog rolls back, what if this is the way the world's gonna be from now on?